the authentic proofs and things and stick to the weakness and trying to push the haram to be halal, then this is what puts your iman in danger.
I have a question. So you know how you said that a person that makes ijtihad and that's his own thing, but that's only for scholars. But what if
Yes.
what if a person that say isn't necessarily a scholar? What would happen there? Like and you said that's his own thing. I mean, I don't know.
So if somebody is not a scholar, they shouldn't make ijtihad.
Okay.
And it's a sin for them to make ijtihad.
Okay, and if they don't, I mean, if they're not a scholar, then what is that? I mean, does that, is it?
I'm confused at your question
I'm
again.
confused too.
Okay. Think about it, get back to me.
If the person's ignorant and they made it halal just based on what their
So if somebody
teachers
is
told them,
ignorant and they ask a scholar and they follow that scholar or that person,
right?
then that person gets a sin first and foremost. But this person, it's also a responsibility upon them to research the issue.
But the person that gave the fatwa, does he become a not necessarily?
So it depends on if that person really believed that music was halal, that really they felt from the Quran and Sunnah that it's halal, which I cannot imagine how they would come to that conclusion with all the evidences. But if they did, then this is between them and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if they were at the level of ijtihad, and they made this ijtihad, they will still get a reward for their ijtihad, and they will not get a reward for being right. If they were not at the level of ijtihad, and they made that ijtihad, and they were wrong, they will get a sin, first, for making ijtihad and not being at the level of ijtihad, and second, for making this mistake when they shouldn't have been giving answers anyway.
That was my question.
But not the same.
What?
Not kufr, though.
Well, this would not be kufr if in their heart they truly believe. But again, this is a very difficult thing for me to accept, because how could it be that you look at all these evidences and in your heart you really don't believe in it?
But inshallah, we can do the doubt, alright?
Inshallah. Again, we want to always give people the benefit of the doubt. The madhab of the murji' is centered around the misunderstanding of iman. Most of the followers define, and again there is some ikhtilaf between them, but most of them they define iman to be two things: the affirmation of the heart and confession by the tongue. So they said, if you believe in the heart and you have on the tongue that you believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then you are a mu'min. You are the mu'min as every mu'min, and iman does not increase and decrease. Some of them went as far as to claim that it is only the affirmation by the heart and doesn't even require confession by the tongue. So they said, if somebody believes in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in their heart, even if they never say the shahada, after having the ability, they're mu'min, they're a believer. In either case, both do not include actions as definition of iman. This was a direct reaction to the Khawarij, who considered any major sin to be act of kufr. So, what happened? The Khawarij, they went towards one extreme. They started saying, you know what, even if you believe in Allah and you do good deeds and you're making salah and everything, you do one major sin, you're kafir. Right? This is wrong. Now, in a reaction to this, you have the other group, which is the murji', who said, man, this is too harsh. You know what, you can do all the sins you want, you're a mu'min. Right? And the Ahl Sunnah were in the middle of these two. This is what is... okay, so now, some of the refutations that are very clear and a very easy way to refute the murji'. One of the very clear and obvious refutations of the murji' is what is reported in Sahih Muslim. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, Iman has 70 odd branches, and there are some rawayat that mention 60. And the most superior of them is to say, La ilaha illallah, which is the shahada. And the lowest of them is removing harm from the road, and modesty is a branch of iman. So, what does this hadith tell us? One, it connects iman and actions. Right? Where it's saying that iman is not just the belief, but iman has many branches. And one of them, obviously, is the kalima, and is the taking the shahada, but from them are many, and from them is haya, shyness. And from them is removing, or the lowest of them is just to remove something from the road so it doesn't harm somebody. This is a part of iman. Right? So salah, siyam, all these actions are a part of iman. Why do we make salah? Because we have iman. And because you make salah, it is a indication that you have iman. And the fact that you have iman, the indication of having that iman is your making salah. We discussed this in the last lesson a little bit. But here, this is a very easy refutation. So what happened to the murji' when you give this to them? They reject it. Why? It doesn't make sense to us. Logic. Right? instead of saying what if they had a problem with the isnad or the authenticity, we could have discussed it, but this is from Sahih Muslim. It is also reported in the Sahih of Imam Muslim, again, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, Iman is establishing the salah, giving of zakah, fasting of Ramadan. So Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam included these actions in Iman. Therefore, we can conclude that Iman is, and this is the opinion, the Aqidah of the Ahl Sunnah, the people of the Athariyah, the proclamation of the heart, meaning the affirmation of the message of Islam in the heart. Missing a noun. So, the first thing is to have the belief about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the heart. This is the base, this is the first thing. Then, it is the action of the heart, meaning that the heart, it surrenders itself to this. It's not just that, okay, I believe in Allah. No, but a part of Iman is that our heart surrenders our will, our nafs, our everything to this kalima as best we can, and we always strive for this. That's why Iman increases and decreases. We strive for this, which is that we believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala being raziq, meaning we don't go towards the haram for rizq. We believe that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will take us out of every hardship, meaning we don't sell out our religion in the face of hardships. And today we have this fitna on us of today in America, where everything is being, we're in America, it's hardship, don't do this, don't do that, don't dress like this, don't say this, don't pray in public, don't wear hijab, don't do this, don't do that. No. Our aqidah has to be built that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is qadir over everything. And in that we believe that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one that can help us, that can free us, that can protect us against every harm. And in our believing in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we will not be harmed. We have to develop this aqidah and strengthen it. And this is a part of our iman. And proclamation of the tongue, the saying the shahada, a part of Islam is that we say with our tongue that we're a Muslim, that we believe in Tawheed, that we say Allah ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah. And a part of action is an action of the tongue and limbs, meaning performing good deeds and avoiding bad deeds, which increase and decrease the iman. So a part of our iman is that we strive to do good, that we strive to make our salah on its time with the best khushu and khudu that we can. A part of our iman is that we strive, that we definitely fast in Ramadan and fast in other than times in Ramadan, that we struggle with ourselves for these things. And that's a part of iman. And the more good deed we do with ikhlas, the higher our iman is. And when we see ourselves lacking in deeds, then we should know our iman has weakened and we need to increase it. And inshallah we can discuss how to increase the iman at a different gathering in more detail, inshallah. Now, we look at the Aqidah of the Murji'ah, and obviously you brothers and sisters here can clearly see it's wrong. Clearly the iman of a fasiq, fajir, alcoholic, worse person is nothing like the iman of the Anbiya alayhi salatu wassalam. Very clear. Every child will understand this concept. And from the ahadith, we have clearly rejected their idea that iman and amal have nothing to do with each other. So how can this sect be formed and grow and still be influential today? This is the question. The answer is that this was a political creed, a political aqidah, and more accurately, a political view. Until today, you will see it being such. The brothers who are hardcore, that tell you the truth, that stick to what is right, they will never be that popular. They will never get invited like Hamza Hansen to the White House. They will never get to have tea with President Bush or Obama or anybody. They will not get on Al Jazeera and Arabiya and be sitting with kings and being able to get the $6 million, $10 million bonuses that some people get. They will be unknown. They will be the true people of haqq will be in villages and little settings, and they will have ilm and they will have abilities, but they will not be famous. And this is till our time you see this. And again, I'm not saying everybody famous is on the haqq, but definitely if you see somebody with an invitation to the White House, be careful of this person. Then I'm going to get myself in trouble.
No, that's fine.
So then it is continued as so this was the one that came, it was a political view in the face of unjust governors who wanted to grow such a view so that people would not revolt against them. For example, Hallaj and people, Hajjaj bin Yusuf and the people, Hajjaj Taqafi, many of the Umayyad that came, that were very oppressive, they were very harsh rulers. They weren't tolerant of people dissenting to their view or opposing them or telling them what they're doing is wrong and they're fasiq. So they became harsh. So these people, they said, you know what? This governor, he may be drinking alcohol, but you must love him, he's a mu'min. It has nothing to do with his iman. Never, it's haram for you to stand up against the leaders. Even if they're fasiq, even if they're doing something terrible, you cannot revolt against the leaders, ever. Did I mention that? Okay. So, and these types of ideologies, again, you will find them today. So this is the murji' ideology, and this is how they became powerful. Because who's going to like you? The CIA. Everybody, the kings, the governors, they love you. Man, this guy, I like him.
So you can revolt against the past?
Well, let's not get into the... Again, so there is, when you can revolt and when you cannot, the whole chapter in fiqh, so it's not such an easy yes or no answer. The fiqh is what type, dhulam is what type, are they making salah, are they still ruling by sharia in its most sense or not? There's much more to it. You cannot make it a binary situation.
As long as he's praying.
So, for example, this is the base of it, but for example, if he's making salah, but he's ruling by everything other than the laws of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you totally throw the laws of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala away. You can't revolt against him. Because he has taken the sharia of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala away completely. So this is one hadith. You cannot take one hadith in isolation, right? For example, Sa'id bin Jubair, he stood up against Hajjaj, even though Hajjaj was making salah, and he's a Sahabi. Right? Yeah. So why? He was a Sahabi, he knew better. Because there's other factions, and this is why in the books of fiqh, there's whole chapters on what revolution and khilafah and how to deal with it. Some of the ulama wrote whole books on this issue. So you cannot make it so black and white, where one ideology is the Khawarij, where anything, you're just making revolutions, and the other ideology is the Murji' and the political people who, even Hosni Mubarak is from the Khulafa for them.
Then Abdullah bin Zubayr revolted.
Abdullah bin Zubayr also. Sa'id bin Jubair, but he was the one that was killed by Punjab. You know that story.
Yeah.
Some lecturers say the Tabi'i.
Khair. Huh?
Some lecturers said he was a Tabi'i.
But anyway, it was a political view, and then how did it grow? It became the ideology of the weak among those who wanted to enjoy a pact with the oppressive people while justifying their position of weakness and lowliness. And even when the oppression turned to kufr, they would justify it in some way or the other. For example, I'll give you another example. The Tatar, when they attacked during the time of Shaykh al-Islam Taqiyuddin ibn Taymiyyah, they said we're Muslim. They attacked Baghdad. They were trying to move towards Sham. They said we're Muslim. Some of them, not all of them, some of them would make salah even amongst the people. But Ibn Taymiyyah fought them. So there is a reasoning and there is a time and place for all of these things. So
Of that time when the people who were being oppressed by the Tatar, and then they gained favor with them once they said that they
exactly right. But the Murji' were there way before the Tatar. They started again as a reaction to the Khawarij, but especially during the Abbasiyya, they became very popular because they said, you know what, whatever Umayyah, whatever they're doing, they're not ruling by this and that, it's fine. They're taking wealth and they're doing haram, it's fine. Drinking alcohol, fine. They're mu'min, don't touch them. Hence the Murji' were in a secret pact and under a truce with the governors, both of which enjoyed freedom of movement. So the ulama were being imprisoned, the ulama of haqq were being tortured and things. The Murji' were given free passage and they could say whatever, and they were given a lot of wealth and money and things like this. While the heavy hand would fall on the Ahl Sunnah, and we see what happened to the great scholars of fiqh and hadith such as Imam Malik, Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal, Shaykh al-Islam Taqiyuddin ibn Taymiyyah, and those who followed the course of the Salaf al-Salihin in understanding the Kitab al-Sunnah.